Wednesday, November 22nd, 2022, at 5:34 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. In Jesus' name, we have balled. It was just before my freshman year of high school in late August of 2018. I was playing Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2 with a couple of my online friends on a PlayStation. They began suggesting that I download a multiplayer horror game that was, at the time, free with a PlayStation Plus membership. I was a little reluctant to get it at first, because I was kind of a little piss baby when it came to any horror games or any stuff, other than Five Nights at Freddy's. Eventually, I was convinced and downloaded it. To my welcome surprise, it was a lot like this game on Roblox called Free the Facility, which I used to frequently play quite a bit on my gaming laptop, which is a heap of shit then, it's a heap of shit now. But that's besides the point. We played around quite a bit in a private, custom match. They did troll me quite a bit. They even managed to convince me that a perk that made you injured for the whole game, irreversibly, was S tier. It was a lot of fun, and over the years, I've grown to love it more and more. Came across quite a few interesting characters, and I just fucking love it. And that game, of course, is Dead by Daylight. I have been playing Dead by Daylight for the better part of 5 or 6 years now, since the Curtain Call era, which is the Clown and Kate Denson, through the highs and lows up to this point. My first ever main-on killer was the Doctor, back when you had to manually switch between using his basic attack and his shock attack. Janky as shit. And also, when his terror rate is passively built up madness, instead of you just, unleashing, a massive frickin' blast to do it. I enjoyed the idea of, solely, degrading the sanity of survivors to weaken and eventually best them, to the point where, lose touch with, what you're doing, more and more, so you can pick them off, way easier. Kind of prophetic, since I'm a psychology major now. My first survivor main was Jake Park. I didn't really have a special reason for maining him. He was just the one that came up my screen first, and I just stuck with him. I actually used to think that exhaustion perks were not great to run because of the exhaustion status effect, because, at the time, what I thought, the word exhaustion implied was that it would make me, slower after I used the perk. It goes without saying that I feel incredibly stupid regarding that now. Nowadays, I main the Huntress, who you are probably seeing in the background footage right now. I find her to be incredibly fun, simple yet effective type, which I just eat those types of killers up all day. I enjoy the element of satisfaction that you get from hitting longer and usual shots, especially the longer range, and the shots through narrow crevices that survivors wouldn't think to get themselves away from normally. I also enjoy the fact that you never truly master her. I mean, that's true for every kill in the game, but it's especially true for Huntress. There's always more to learn about her ins and outs, and all the shit you can do with her hatchets. And I don't think I've even figured out 10% of it yet. At the time of recording, she is the only character that I have taken all the way to Prestige 100, with this massive feat being a contributing factor to my decision to make this video. I also have the Onryo and the Spirit as my secondary mains, as they're both incredibly fun, as well as being the fuck you type of killers. I also love the fact that the 3 killers I mentioned have skills to learn that apply to the other killers that I main as well. For example, a skill you need to have when playing the Onryo, also known as Sadako, is micromanagement, using her Condemnation TV teleports, which also ties back in to Huntress and Spirit, because with Huntress you can do micromanagement by throwing hatchets at generators to either hit or scare survivors off of them, and Spirit has that long-range, like, phasing ability that you can just use to close, like, a big amount of distance in, like, a short amount of time. My current main on Survivor is Kate Denson. Her state of origin, Pennsylvania, has always been a massive presence in my life, even though I live in, like, the greater Richmond area of Virginia. It's where my grandparents on my mother's side live, as well as the fact that I was raised in a Pittsburgh Steelers household. That's a football team for all you non-American infidels and T-goblins out there. Anyways, she seems like the kind of person that I would strive to be, a beacon of light to those around her. I mean, is it any wonder I'm aiming to be a psychiatrist? She also seems to be my kind of gal to be in a relationship with. Christ, excuse me. I sound like a fucking incel saying that. My current favorite build to run on her is either Sprint Burst, Resilience, Windows of Opportunity, and Adrenaline. I know, very original. I even have the patents for it. And Sprint Burst again, but with Blast Mine and Chemical Trap combined with Deja Vu. I've been playing Survivor a lot more, like, recently, as I find it pretty damn fun. And I really don't have much to say beyond that. It's just a gay old time. Yet another really neat thing about Dead by Daylight, not specific to either side, is that there's no shortage of builds that you can put together, whether it's optimization, hex, gimmick, lore, whatever. Anything that floats your boat, you can put together. Even perks that are like a mid or just bad can work pretty damn well given the right build. I like to put my optimization builds together on killers that I like to put one info perk, being Barbecue and Chili, Floods of Rage, or Discordance, one chase perk, Save the Best for Last, Bamboozle, or Blood Favor, one direct generator slowdown perk, Pain Resonance, Pop, or Deadlock, and one indirect or lesser gen slowdown perk, Sloppy Butcher, Eruption, or Undying plus another Hex. Sometimes I'll switch it up in some aspects, but overall, these builds are a damn good time to come up with and apply. The personality in, like, just about every single character in Dead by Daylight really shines in all sorts of ways. Whether it's through your cosmetics, perks, or their power. Even if the character's lore is like hot garbage, they still have their unique flair to back them up. Kate's life, themes, passion for music, and overall person is conveyed perfectly through our cosmetics and perk icons and descriptions, and perk names as well. Which depict her performance attire, as well as some casual clothing that she would dress up in. I especially like how the perks are named after, like, her in-universe songs. I think that's really cool. Huntress's rugged hunting skill and lifestyle, as well as her incredibly psychopathic tendencies, are shown neatly in all of her skins, in which there are trophies of her hunts and equipment either made or scavenged by her. Bouncing off of cosmetics for a second here, the overall artistry of the game is pretty damn insane. From the maps to even things as small as, like, aforementioned perk icons, the art team just hardly ever misses. My favorite non-licensed map in terms of overall artistry is the Garden of Joy. The atmosphere of, like, blood red sky, the furniture of the main building, being in places they shouldn't be, like upside down and like on the walls. And also the fact that the map is basically just a floating island, judging by the rock formations on the edge of the map. It sends the message home pretty damn well that this is a place that is warped beyond repair by a very malevolent force, and you're not welcome here. The perk icons are nothing to scoff at either, with most icons effectively giving you an idea of what the perk might be about, in addition to just looking cool. For example, Scourge Hook Pain Residence. It's got hooks coming down on a generator, so you know it's got things to do with hooking and things to do with the generator, but also, it just looks freaking cool, alright, man? Like, honestly. The games themselves are pretty damn fun. I really like the part about having to, like, use context clues and fuck around and find out isms in order to find out what perks, items, or add-ons that your enemy is running, in order to, like, counter them effectively. And I find that to be a damn good challenge. That does go for every PvP game, I know, but it rings especially true in a game like Dead by Daylight, when that kind of knowledge can literally mean the difference between life or death. In Survivor, every killer is pretty fun to play against, even killers like Skull Merchant or Trickster. Killer or Survivor, no matter what the meta may be, are always having to transform your modus operandi every second. Even games about, against boil-over goblins and 3-gen greasers have their pretty damn nice moments. The community of DBD is nothing short of great. I know that seems like a rich statement considering all the dark side fill types in this community, but I mean it with my whole heart. This community is incredibly accepting and diverse, and as a man with autism and ADHD, in addition to struggling with other forms of mental illness, that's pretty damn important and meaningful to me. The top figureheads and fog whisperers are incredible and incredibly inspiring to me. The top 3 creators that have inspired and I would say continue to inspire me are Ostarva, Toonie, and Nametti. Otz, he has an incredible amount of tism dedicated to this game. It's like, I mean, of course, he needs no introduction, but it bears repeating. His knowledge and incredibly well-researched balancing content have just amazed me to no end. And he's a massive part of the reason why I've gotten better at playing both Killer and Survivor, like learning to hide my red stain, learning what builds work best on what killers. Pretty damn nice stuff like that. Toonie is an incredible personality. His commentary during his videos and how natural, like, his like comedic like sayings are. It's brought out the internet, helped to bring out the inner entertainer in me. It's tongue twister, inner entertainer. His comedic editing style has also massively influenced my own editing. But even then, I don't think I could hold a candle to his style. So, yeah, Tony, GOAT. Dame Betty, he makes incredibly entertaining and informative Survivor content. I know, errands and JRMs on YouTube are a dime a dozen these days, but what sets Dame Betty apart from the rest of them is that he is consistently speaking, like, valuable information about playing Survivor as he's playing, and also the fact that his cadence isn't nearly as phoned in as most other Survivor tubers. Just like Otz, he's a big contributor to me getting better overall at Survivor. I have been fortunate enough to interact with some bigger creators, and I mean, they're a great time to communicate with. There's... I don't know how to describe it. They're just awesome. In the future, I want to try and become a member of the Fog Whisperers, which is the partner program for Dead by Daylight. It's always been a fantasy of mine to have behavior hear my ideas, even if it doesn't seem like they're doing that with their current Fog Whisperers right now, but anyways, and I pray that that dream will come true someday. I also want to see about getting back to streaming, probably on YouTube, because Twitch becomes more and more of a steaming pile of shit each day. And I have always been a reclusive entertainer at heart, and I'm incredibly elated to be putting that into reality more and more. Dead by Daylight is not, by any means, a perfect game, far from it. However, in spite of its flaws, I consistently find it challenging to not love it. This game has so much potential, and if you ask me, just about anyone can get something out of it. Yeah, its balance can be quite odd sometimes, and a lot of behavior's decisions are very questionable, but that doesn't stop me, and many others, from having a good time. In conclusion, I don't know when I'm gonna get this video out, but Merry Christmas, and thank you, behavior devs, for a damn good time. In Jesus' name, we ball.